how are you feeling as far as taking Varsity House podcast to the next level? What's next for it? And how are you going to maximize your traction?
I feel like for me, the reason why I wanted to start a podcast was initially just to tell stories, because I felt like throughout my college, journey, for people who don't know, I had 3 significant season-ending injuries, 2 ACLs and an Achilles. And the first time that I've ever talked about it to, someone outside my circle was on a podcast. It was called Stronger Scars. Shout out to Bailey Cartwright. She offered me the opportunity to come on her podcast and talk about it. And I was like, I ignored her. I ignored her for like months because I was like, I'm not comfortable talking about it. I don't want to talk about it. And so I ended up like, something happened and I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to go in there and talk about it. And so once I did that, it was like, I felt like I've always had a passion and, wanting to know other people's stories, because I feel like some may be similar to mine, some may be completely different than mine. But we all have a story that's, that should be told, and that's, that people want to hear. And at the end of the day, that was like the goal for it, was to be able to sit down with people, get their stories and then be able to share their stories. And, hopefully it touches one person. Hopefully it impacts one person. That's always the goal. And, obviously you want to make money, while you're doing it. The goal is to always, to be able to make money doing your passion. And so over just, this year, we've been able to, collect some steam, collect some money just through YouTube views, donations, and all that other stuff. Donations, through all that stuff. But, we've had a few sponsors too. Now that I feel like I have the podcast under control, something that I want to do now is meet and greets, whether, with some athletes, meaning we'll do some signings, we'll do some photos, and, at these events, we'll pay the players to come out. We'll have fans come out. We'll have, different news networks or whatever come out. They'll get, autographs. They'll get photos, like fun type of things. There'll be games and all that stuff. But at the end of it, we'll talk for 15, 20 minutes, bringing this exclusive community, like type environment, to the people. And that's one thing that we're looking to do. And, obviously if those do well, gain traction and continue to do more of those. So where it's like maybe a player from the Seahawks or something sees what we do and he likes it, to where it's like, okay, now we can put on an event for them. So starting to do like more activations, things like that, bring in, my network of athletes and guests and that we've had on, and allowing them to be in front of the community, be in front of the fans, and bring a way of, doing that. But then also merch, I think, could be cool. Like we've done several collabs already. Our biggest one was the Brian Kelly one. And that was just a great opportunity. Like, came up with the design. My boy, designed it. We did, the Brian Kelly beat, like, Burger King t-shirt. And it was right before the Alabama game. So we sold those, and it was like, okay, cool. Like, this could be something that, like, if we have a podcast with a guest, we can drop a collab with them. And then we could go that route. So I do want merch being part of it someday, but, and then also the biggest thing I think this summer is what we're really focusing on is like a Varsity House summer camp. And so I don't want to give too much game away, but basically if you are listening, reach out and see if you find ways that you could definitely help us, whether it's donations, sponsors, donations, sponsors. So